Hello and happy Friday. I hope this finds you well. I'm live, not live today. So I'm in, with a little bit of luck, I'm here in the comments live, but I'm actually recording this a little bit earlier because I can't be at my desk at the normal streaming time. Such is the August summer holiday type schedule. So join me in the live chat comments if you want to ask any questions about things as I go today. But welcome, and I hope you've had a very good week so far, or whenever this finds you. So let's have a look at the desk and see what we're going to make today. And it looks a little bit like this. Now I have an option for you today, depending on which style is more like you or just what you feel like trying today. Okay. So I'm pulling in just a plain old sheet of white cardstock to work on this page today because I'm going to put our ink and our stencil from this kit to work. I'm also going to bring in an ink from a previous kit. That's Dusty Concord. So I'm going to be using Uncharted Mariner and Dusty Concord with a wave stencil to make some background on a white cardstock background. Yep. How many times do I need to say background? Not that many. But if inky is not your thing, that's okay, because there's this piece of cardstock in the kit. So something like this, where you've got a white background and a colorful pattern on top, you can use that and follow everything else. Once I've done the inking, you would just follow along with the whole construction of the layout, but use that instead of this inky version. Yeah? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm using 3 photos. You've seen these before because they were an option last week or so, and they were not the option we went with that day, so they're going to be the option that I do today. Let's draw a square. Oops, no, it's not a square, but yeah, square page. There we go. And I'm going to have the big photo, which has quite a lot of direction that way, so it's going to sit on the left, so the direction is pointing into the page. And I'm going to have my 2 portraits on this side. Now, I've drawn them a little bit grid-like. They may not be that grid-like in the end, okay? But they're going to be kind of like this somehow. Then, there's going to be a strip of rainbow at the top and a strip of rainbow across the bottom. And that is going to be this rainbow stripe. So there's just going to be a little strip of that top and bottom of that background. And then around this is going to be a big block of little blocks. What do I mean by that? So this is going to form a kind of band of pieces that goes all the way across the middle of the page on the horizontal. Monday sketch was a bit of a slow one as well, so there we go. So all of these pieces in the background can just be pieces of pattern paper in any different size. All the different colors are set by that rainbow stripe. So if it's a color in here, then I can put it in here. And then somewhere on some of these, there'll be some journaling lines, hopefully, so that I can add in journaling to those boxes, which then gives me this big, wide open space, which is where there's going to be some inking happening. Oh, that one's not so inky. Yeah? A little bit of stamping in here too, I think. I'm going to bring out some sentiment stamps, I think, to mix in with the stencils. And then title can go down here in the bottom corner. So journaling will be somewhere in this pattern embellishment. It's kind of an explosion because there's going to be a lot of pieces to it, but it's going to read as a horizontal block. So hopefully that will keep it nice and restrained. So more, but within a certain element of the page so that it's not too chaotic and overwhelming. just a little bit chaotic and overwhelming. We want just the perfect amount of chaotic and overwhelming. That's the plan. Right. Hi, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally, I have to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you, as always, for watching my hashtag advertising. You can find a lot of things in the description box that might be useful if you're new here, if you have any questions. You can find links to all the supplies I'm using right now, which is called the August Best of Both Worlds kit. And you can find supplies, links to the supplies that I'll be using next month in all of my September videos. Now, it's an interesting month to join in if the normal live streams are not your style, because a bunch of this month's Monday and Friday videos will be filmed in advance and edited, which means they'll be shorter than my usual live stream length where you see everything in real time and there's no super fast sticker mode and things like that. And so it also means that these lessons these videos don't have the chit chat with the audience in the video itself. Now I will fully engage in chit chat in the live chat, but that's typed. Is this international sign language for typed? I won't be being able to interact with you here in the video like normal. So on one hand, I'm sorry that those of you who come to like crop with me during our live streams, it's a little different format. But for those of you who can't commit to like an hour and 15, an hour and a half of just real-time scrapbooking, and you want to see what sort of stuff I make in the Best of Both Worlds video, but in a shorter, more concentrated, less distracted kind of time frame, then this is the month for you, because there's a lot of that going on this August. Right. Okay, so inky stuff up first, and then we'll get to the paper elements. So if you are wanting to use this one, you can skip ahead and you can go straight into all that layering. But if you want to start with the stencil, you're going to need the stencil, your ink, your boopers, and we'll be good to go. So this is the scrapbook.com wave stencil, but you can use any wave stencil you like, or you can change the theme and make it not a wave at all. You can do the best thing for the story you want to tell. Now, my story is not literally about waves, but it's still going to work well, I think. All right, so I want to have some white space between where that stripe's going to go. Oh, my cardstock's on the wrong side. Let's use this side. Yeah, there's going to be the stripe at the top, and I want my waves to fade rather than to get to that straight line at the top of the stencil. So I'm going to tape that down there, and tape this one so that it's going to stick everything to the desk as well. All right. And I'm going to start. I've got Uncharted Mariner. I've got Dusty Concord. Load up my booper. Now remember, the box around the photos is going to be kind of here. So we're looking at this kind of space, and then I'll move the stencil down a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do, number one, is not ink too heavily, because I want to be able to blend these colors. And I don't want to fill in the whole thing. I want to blend them together. So put kind of a wiggly line in there, and then come in with my purpley shade. What is that? Okay, and toward these edges, I really don't want it to get much inkier than that, but toward the middle, I do. So start adding a little more ink here and bringing the colors together, so that my purple goes onto the blue, and then I'll pick up the blue and bring it onto the purple. And I'll do all of those layers here before I move the stencil to another section. Now, tops of the waves I want to fade out, so I don't want to over ink the top. Bring more ink to the sections that are further away from the top. All I have inked too much where that tape was and ended up with a straight line. So I'm going to soften that by putting my stencil back down and just softening the top edge a little bit so it's not a line. But I don't want to go all the way to the top of the stencil and end up with another line, so I have to be very gentle there. Okay, got a little bit of a line, but it does fade out. It's going to be okay because I'm going to mix in the stamps as well, so I'm not too worried. Okay, bring this over here. Add in that deep teal tone of the Mariner. My purpley tone from Dusty Concord. Now, you could change the color scheme here entirely. I went with these two colors because look how much blue and purple there's in the photo, because of the lighting. So that's why I've gone with this mix. If you were doing beach photos with the waves, then maybe you add shades of blue, yeah, or you add you can add in all different shades that match your photo, whether you've got actually quite a yellow or sky blue type color, depending on if it's sunset or if it's daytime, things like that. Right, remember we want to go back over where the colors meet to get those fades and blends. Pick that up again. Okay, I think that's going to be enough at the top, and then I just need to repeat the same thing down here at the bottom. Okay, we're gonna come back with the stance later after the photos and things are on, so that's plenty of ink for now. Next thing to do, 2 strips of the rainbow paper. Now, if you wanted to get really crazy, you could tear it, but I'm going to keep it just straight lines. Just in case Amy's here on her summer vacation and I don't want to give her too much worry and stress. So 2 little strips of that. And then this goes right on to this background. So if you didn't do the inky bit, you can start now with the pattern paper and put your strips onto the white background pattern paper and follow from here. Now you could make these strips go the opposite way so that you have the pink and the blue, or the blues diagonal and the pinks, but I want them to be the same way. So both my navy blue spots are going to be on the left and both my pinks are going to be on the right. Now to the stuff in the middle. So first of all, a good old bend and snap. And a little shout out thank you to Leanne Subtle Photography, who took these show photos. And she sells them digitally so that I could print them at any size. Woohoo! Perfect for scrapbook life. And then these, let's start by trimming the middle space because then that will let me see what I need to go level all the way around the outside edges. That was not straight, so let's try again. And here. All right. So these are going to go in like this, and that's going to go there. And then this space here gets boxes. Well, I have this one left over from the layout the other day, so I'm going to start with that one. Also going to cut a little box of it from the other pattern there. And then I'm going to build up all sorts from these papers. So let's have a look at the cut aparts first, so that hopefully I get some journaling spaces in there. And the 4x4 cut apart's too big, but that one can work, and this one can work. 4x6 is also going to be too big. There's 4x6s, but those are not going to fit. So let's start with these and cut a few different pieces. What would be good for writing on in a good color for this? I think this one up here. And then also this one, but I will change the sentiment there because that doesn't fit. But we can always put something on top of it that will fit our story. It might fit your story, doesn't fit mine. It's okay. So I think that's probably enough for big 3x4 pieces. And we can keep everything else smaller than those. There we go. So then in smaller elements, this is a lovely mix, but I've already got other 3x4 pieces in that same size, so it feels too big. These two butterflies, maybe all three butterflies. Let's just have a whole butterfly strip, but I'm going to cut them into individual pieces rather than one big strip with the crafter on the outside. Okay. I'm going to take these right down to their individual colored boxes and not even leave a craft frame on the edge or anything like that. One. Two. Three. Okay, and then let's go to pattern papers. Done that one. Let's have a look at the ones that I cut into already in the kit. So I've got some of that one. Is that everything that I had cut into in the first project? I believe so. Okay. Let's definitely have this one, which is the pink side. Okay, and what other colors we've got up here? So there's, I'd like to bring in a little bit more of the yellow and orange. So we could do that with, with the oranges paper, which I did cut into the other day. So yeah, let's have a couple boxes of oranges. Ooh. Now, that's from the branding strip. I'm going to leave that there because I think that pink might come in handy and actually might come back to the rest of it here. I forgot there's tags on this side too. Okay, so I can use both of those pink polka dotted pieces. And colors over here, not that one. I could bring in the orange or the yellow there. And try this orange one up here. Okay, this is probably enough to at least, it's definitely enough to at least start. So I want to ink all of these and with black today. So that's my black soot. Here's my inker, my booper. And let's add black borders to all of these. And I'm just going to stack them up as I ink them in stacks by size. So for example, I've got these three that are all 3x4. Now this one I could take down a little bit to just the size of the tag itself. is definitely an option. Got those that are large pieces. And just kind of different sizes and shapes here, because that will make it easier for me to build a mix of stuff, build all these layers. Actually, I think I'm going to take these and cut them in half to get both sides patterns in. So I'll have like that, and then also this one smaller. Okay, and then the butterflies and the pink dotty strips. That one, this one I'm going to cut in half so I end up with 3 kind of roughly equal hot pink pieces, because that might help me make a little triangle within all those layers, and that's probably aesthetically pleasing. I'm guessing as it goes together that might be a good thing. All right, so roughly placed photos, starting with the biggest pieces. So I think in order to get room to journal on, I need to start with that journaling piece. So I'm covering up that sentiment, so it doesn't matter if I run it off the side. So I'm going to start that just there, and then add pieces above and below. And they're going to go right off the edges horizontally. And everything's ideally going to be nice and square. Although there's lots of pieces, nothing's at an angle. Everything's sitting straight up and down. That's the plan. There, and then I could bring a butterfly. I haven't got any yellow and orange over here, so I'll add a butterfly there. Like that. Yep, and the photo is going to go about there. Now I need things that go all the way across, and I'm going to need things in the middle here. So let's put that right there. Oh, maybe the other way around. This piece all the way over here. See how this one's down at the bottom over there, so we're going to bring it up to the top over here. Bring a butterfly up to that corner too. Strip right about there. Pink strip's going to run to the left here. Now I don't want those exactly in a line, so I'm going to offset that by just a tiny bit. Butterfly going right there. Then I've got these smaller pieces that I can bring in to fill some spaces. So this one can come up there. A little bit of orange can come down to this corner.
Remember, you can go under the pieces that you've put down already as well. Could even go right underneath. Yeah, let's go right underneath that. Needs a piece there. So that could be a strip of this. Need a bit more happening down here. Cut off all the inked edges. So let's bring that right around there. Okay, that's not a bad start. So let's cut off everything that's over on the other side. Not gone off the edges. And the only piece that I cut out that I haven't used is that big 3x4. So if I hadn't added the orange 3x4, if I just started with the two 3x4s that I had at the beginning, then they all would have had a major spot. But what I'm wondering about is cutting this one to fit behind there. So what I'm going to do is actually cut 1, 2 pieces from it. And this one is going to come right down here. Ah, but then this needs to come over to work with that. Go. This photo is going to go here, and the middle piece needs to sit behind there. Right. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Pick up this pink mat, put that over the top. And then the top photo. I'll have that right behind there. Now, what I need to do is shift that all further down, because that's just going up too far out of my horizontal box. And instead of having this up higher than those two, I should have brought it down. So let's move things a little bit. It's just going to go underneath the orange over there. And then that brings this more in line with the boxes. Yes, that's it. Okay, so that's what it looks like underneath. Big old mess. Shall I just take this one and put it down here? I don't see why not. Yeah, let's put those oranges down here. End up with a triangle of the pink, a triangle of the oranges. Okay. If your layers look too much of a mess, things to help your photos still stand out. 1, do they have a white border? If not, you can add one with some white cardstock. 2, you could pop them up. You could add Popios and pop it up, and the dimension will then help keep things nice and organized. Oh, wanted a bit more of the color in that gap. There we go. All right, now thoughts. I think this gap in the middle is a little bit too wide. The photos need to be close together. I left it a little wide because I thought it might be weird to cover up quite so much of the butterfly. The truth is, it's a little weird to leave such a big gap. So I'm going to move these over a little bit, and we're going to lose the trio of butterflies. But you and I know it's there. That's all right. Just like that better. title down here, sentiment stamps to kind of even this out so it's not so boxy, journaling in there, and a little bit of embellishment on top. So once again, I've done a page that you could make with scraps, but I just liked the idea of showing you different ideas for what you could do by cutting your kit into small pieces. If you didn't watch Monday's video, it looks like this all done. And that starts with a 2x2 cut apart, but then add in a few other patterns to fill out that full 3 lines of pieces. A chipboard frame, some mats here that match the pattern papers that are down here, stickers, mist, enamel dots. All right, this time, not so grid-like. Yeah. Okay, so title's gonna go down here, just like magic, journaling and title in place. Now I started with the letter stickers that are in the kit, that are in the sticker book, but added just some blue letters to match-ish, the navy and the Uncharted Mariner. Here, those are Bella Boulevard letters, so that does mean that I need to add those to my stash pass, which I will document in just a moment, because there's one other thing that I'm going to add to that for today's layout, so I'll share with that. If you don't know what that means, I'll show it to you in just a second. But I've got this spot here. Remember where I was going to cover up this sentiment? Originally, I thought I'd use one of the labels from the sticker book, but they're way too narrow. So instead, remember the orange paper? The other side, which has the frame that I wasn't planning to use, has that same turquoise color in that grid. So I'm just going to cut a piece of that to go over this space here. So that's going to go right through there. The extra trimmed from over here. Then here's the second thing I'm going to grab. Not only am I grabbing the letter stickers, I'm grabbing some sentiment steps. So if you haven't been around recently for the stash pass, there's a request that when I take things that are not originally in the kit, I kind of keep track of it. So I need to add an August section. So in August, I've added navy letter stickers and sentiment stamps. There we go. So it's documented what I had to borrow from my stash that wasn't in the kit. So now I'm going to use some of these. They are, I believe that's an Ali Edwards set. Yeah, looks definitely like Allie's handwriting. And a little block here so that I can stamp some things in here. So let's have these stamped in the 2 colors. Oh, that was for planning. Does it fit? Oh, actually it does fit. Okay, I thought I needed a bigger block. Don't need a bigger block. So I figure out where I'm going to stamp, and then I look to see which of those 2 colors is more prominent next to that. This is more prominently Uncharted Mariner, so I'm going to use Dusty Concord. Yeah, just to give some variety and contrast. So I can have that one here. It says, love these photos. And I can have this one that says yes please, and bring this into the Uncharted Mariner and then make that. Yeah. Right over here. Yeah. This one has a little pennant shape, and I want to kind of focus more on the word. So I'm just going to pick these up and stamp it so it disappears underneath. Oh, so well planned there. Okay, it's all right. I'll just use this one again somewhere else. Use it in one of these spots down here. Put it right underneath here. Let's see if I can get the spacing a little better this time. Yes. Right. this one back again. Just add some purple down here near the title. Yep. Okay, then to add a little bit more shape without adding more sentiments, just get something that's a nice generic shape that matches your theme. So this one's a little star. And dot them about. And do that one in both colors. Right. Then you can bring in some confetti to match. Finish those pieces up. So that's enough with the ink, probably. Take these and come in and add little gatherings of color. And it doesn't need to be all three in a bundle each time, so like these. Actually, we're going to do 3 here in this section, but then this one up here, just single. Yep, and finish with some mist. Where any line feels too straight with the stenciling, that's where I'm going to add most of my dots to soften that effect. Now, if you have the pattern paper there, you can skip all this and just add any bits that feel like they'll help your pattern, but you've already got lots going on there, so you don't have to add a whole bunch more. You can add a little. You can add lots if you want, but don't feel like you have to, because I'm adding lots here because I started with plain white cardstock. Okay. That's it. That's where I'm going to stop. So that's second page with the August kit. First time I've used the Uncharted Mariner on an actual project and not just a swatch. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I will have another video up on Monday. Again, that's going to be live, not live, for a little while. That's what we've got. But thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be fabulous. If you want to click over to Shimelle.com and join me for a weekend of stamping, that'd be fabulous too. That kicks off tonight, so it's not there right this second. Please don't panic. Tonight. Cool. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.